man says, well, I know how men think, and I know that if you wear something like this, or if you post something like this, or if you're friendly with this guy, that then he's going to be thinking like this, or he's going to thinking it's okay for him to talk to you like this. That's where a lot of women get that thought process that a man is controlling or jealous or insecure, because they feel like, oh, all of his rules have something to do with a man, or what I wear, or where I can go, or who I can hang out with.
I don't trust, and I'm not afforded the luxury as a protector to trust just random men out in the world. So if I was to say, hey, look, you shouldn't wear XYZ when you're at the grocery store, or you shouldn't post certain things, or you shouldn't be as inviting always to every single man you encounter, I'm telling you that because, hey, listen, the risk versus reward in that is the risk is too high. If something would have happened to you or my daughter, it's too high for me to play that type of game. So it's like, no, these are the safeguards that we put in place to avoid those types of things.
Right.
And that's just how most men that I know look at it. Again, I trust myself.
I wanted to let the whole clip play because what they were saying was some real stuff. And Sarah Lena been making videos for a long time, and she always seemed like a sister that has some wisdom. And it's cool now that she doing videos with her husband, because you can tell that this is where she been getting her wisdom from. And I want to get a precept because I think it's dope that she able to relay some of the things that she learning from her husband and possibly from the elder women that's in her life, and she able to give it to the sisters that want to learn, and some of the brothers that possibly never seen women act properly, so they can try to implement it in their households as well. So I thought it was kind of cool to see her videos, because she been making videos for years. I don't know how old the sister is, but I know she been making videos for years, because I think I started off on Facebook seeing her videos years ago. But watch this. This is what made me think of this sister when I hear her speak. And now that she got her husband on camera, this is what I see in this situation. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 21 and verse 15. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. But as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeaseth him, and he casteth it behind his back. Because you can tell that the sister has really been learning from her husband, right? Let me read it again. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. So the sister, she clearly learning from her husband, and she able to relay it and give deeper context and give it to you from a woman's point of view, so the women can digest it. I think that's a dope thing, because a lot of sisters are not getting that type of, you know what I'm saying, correction. And they're not getting that type of wisdom at home because, one, they didn't get raised with their fathers. Two, they don't have husbands, right? So this is not something that you can readily just get on a day-to-day basis. So it's dope that you got sisters like this that can teach the young sisters these things. Let's read it again. Verse 15. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. But as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeaseth him. Because the average sister, when they hear what they just spoke about, they're going to look at that as control, right? They're going to look at that as he's being narcissistic. The world shouldn't be like that. It is what it is, sis. It is what it is. It got to be what it is. Because most of the time when we get into these bags, where we don't want to live life the way it truly is, and all we keep caring about is how it should be, you're going to fall into some messed up situations. Let's read on. And he casted it behind his back, because a lot of people, when they hear this type of wisdom, they don't want to hear that. They cast it behind their back, meaning what? They're not finna use that information. They not finna use that information. Let's go back.
A man says, well, I know how men think, and I know that if you wear something like this, or if you post something like this, or if you're friendly with this guy, that then he's going to be thinking like this, or he's going to thinking it's okay for him to talk to you like this. That's where a lot of women get that thought process that a man is controlling or jealous or insecure, because they feel like, oh, all of his rules have something to do with a man, or what I wear or where I can go or who I can hang out with.
I don't trust, and I'm not afforded the luxury as a protector to trust just random men out in the world.
Let's go in the Bible, because we don't hear this type of stuff on a day-to-day basis, especially in the black community when it comes to husbands and wives. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 36 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. Now, why would I get this? Because this is the perfect example of what I was talking about earlier. What is, you can tell this brother is teaching the sister, right? But watch this. I'm going to read it again. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. Because the reason why a lot of sisters today are being spoiled, you can tell by their mindset. Y'all, the thinking is all the way left. You know what I'm saying? They deal with a lot of foolishness, the music that they listen to, the movies and the TV shows that they listen to, right? It's a lot of foolishness. You know what I'm saying? They being consumed by social media because they don't have no heads, so the possession is spoiled. And what does that mean? The possession is spoiled. What does that mean? Let's get another place where it talk about the same thing right quick. Watch this. This is Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 11. The heart of her husband, let's start at verse 10. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. So a sister being spoiled is her going outside of the guidelines that he's setting up. What does that look like? She committing adultery. She always getting into different problems. She gossiping and backbiting, right? She getting into fights with the sisters. She always having issues with the sisters, right? You don't want that situation. So it say, well, no hedge is there, the possession is spoiled. But if you have a wife that don't listen to you, you can't control her. That's why, going back, let's read it again. They say, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband does safely trust in her. Because this is the virtuous woman. This is the wife that move with virtue. It say his heart does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. Let's go back. This is a sister that's moving the proper way in her marriage. This is a sister that's moving the proper way in her situation with her husband. Let's read it again. Verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. Because what does that hedge look like, right? It looked like what they're speaking about right now. She talked about how you being in a relationship with a man, he might tell you, hey, don't wear this, because that brings this type of energy. That's a hedge of protection right there. A hedge of protection look like rules and regulations. It looked like, hey, you can do this, but you can't do that. Now, most people might look at that and be like, oh, you trying to rule over the sister. You trying to domineer over the sister. You don't want her to live her life. That's not the case. And to be honest with you, them the type of people, it say that a person with no understanding gonna be displeased at it and toss it behind their back. That's literally what's going on in these type of situations. A wise woman gonna take that information that she got from her husband, right? Don't do this, don't do that. Why? Because of this, and that, right? She took it and she could add to it to make it make sense to the people that think like her. That's a beautiful thing. But you need those rules and regulations in place for protection. It's a beautiful thing, man. Let's get some more. Cause that's biblical for a man to move like that. We're not used to that in the black community because we used to our men being weak. We used to our men being ran over by women. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. So in these last days, the men gonna have to start standing back up and do things the way they're supposed to be done. Let's read. This is Genesis chapter 18 and verse 19. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him. We're not used to that in the black community. Men aren't used to doing that. He said command. Let's read it again. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him. Let's get some. Let's go get some out of the dictionary. What does it mean to command? To direct authoritatively. To exercise a dominating influence over. Have command of. We not used to that in the black community amongst men. And the crazy part about this the crazy part about this. Women respond to that. Women respond to men that move like that. I'm not asking you anything. I'm giving you guidelines. You can do this or you can leave. I'm giving you clear-cut instruction. As long as you stay in between the confines of how God said we supposed to move, everything fine. You can have as much fun as you want to, but don't step outside these guidelines. This is exactly what Abraham was doing. Let's read it again. This is Genesis chapter 18 verse 19. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him. He said he would direct authoritatively, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. That's a beautiful thing. We're not used to it. We got to build our brothers up to learn how to do this. Because to be completely honest, this is one of the reasons why our community looked the way it looked. The men lost the hold of the community. We let the women run things on their own. What the Bible say? It said, where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled. So we looking at the community wondering why it looked the way it looked. The possession is spoiled. Our sisters is at an all-time high with the whole stuff, right? Baby mamas in there, right? Children being raised without fathers, right? Teenage pregnancy, right? High prison rates, right? The possession is spoiled. It is what it is. Going back. Let's get some more. This is another example of what's going on in this situation. And I wanted to use this because the sister been talking with, she be speaking with some wisdom. And she been doing it for years. And I know they probably be, you know what I'm saying, the sisters that don't, you know what I'm saying, that don't have no sense, I know they be, you know what I'm saying, they be coming after the sister. I know they be calling her pick me and all that type of stuff. But these are the sisters they need to be listening to, just to keep it a stack. They'll listen to Cynthia G before they listen to her. That's crazy. Watch this. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 26, and I'm going to start at 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. Because that's one thing that we don't have too much of nowadays in the black community. Discretion is not our strong suit no more. That used to be a big deal in the black community where you would just give up all your business in public. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the norm back in the day. Where now you get on TikTok, these women telling you their whole life story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. They telling it all. It ain't supposed to be like that. Let's read it again. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. Discretion is how you move. Let's go get the definition. Discretion is how a woman carries herself. Discretion. Individual choice of judgment, power of free decision, or latitude of choice within certain legal bounds. Now think about it, right? We already talked about a brother putting up a hedge of protection. Like I said in Genesis chapter 18 and 19. He said he will command his children and his household after him. You can have as much fun as you want to. You got free reign inside the confounds of these rules. You can look as pretty as you want to. All that. You can get dolled up inside the confounds of these rules. It said the discretion. Let's read it again. Power of or free decision or latitude of choice within certain legal bounds. How you move within those rules. How you move within the rules and regulations that your husband gave you. So you moving like that make your husband draw closer to you as a woman. That's a beautiful thing. So imagine you teaching your wife these different things, right? And you can hear her teaching other women the stuff that you taught her. And you can see her actions putting forth what you was teaching her. That's a beautiful thing, man. Watch this. Verse 14, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. This verse right here sums up a lot of what the sister be talking about. It's like a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, because a lot of the sister content is geared towards the arguments. It's geared towards how you handle each other in arguments. And the sister be spot on. You know what I'm saying? A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. This going back into Proverbs 31, where it said her price is far above rubies. You can't measure the value that the sister bring into the situation because she irreplaceable. It said, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed, because why? Her husband is teaching her these things and she's taking it and using it. There's nothing. That's a beautiful thing when a man and a woman can move like that. That's a beautiful thing. And I wanted to highlight that because the sister been giving out free game for years. And now we seeing her husband really show you where she been getting it from. So salute to both of them. You know what I'm saying? Because we need to see more examples of marriages in the black community, man. It is what it is. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I'm out.